Hello, and welcome to New Faculty Orientation. My name is Kevin West, and I'm the Senior Director of Faculty Labor Relations and the Academic Inclusion Officer here at the University of Toledo. On behalf of President Gaber and Provost Shu, we want to welcome you to the University of Toledo. I would like to introduce you all to Angie Hall. She is the Director of Campus Accessibility and the Student Disability Services Office. First off, Angie, thank you very much for coming today and speaking to our new faculty. One of the things that I hope to get at today is to further our understanding of the role that you provide and to understand the broad spectrum of services that your office provides to faculty. Angie, as I look at your title, it seems like there are a lot of components of that. Can you break that down for the faculty so they truly understand what your role is at the institution?
Hi, Kevin. Thank you for having me. My role at the institution is Director of Student Disability Services. I also have responsibility for compliance with disability laws, such as the Americans with Disabilities Act and Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act.
So what does that mean for faculty?
So as far as faculty goes, we want to make sure that faculty are our partners when it comes to accommodating our students in the academic setting.
So, Angie, how does your office engage with faculty?
Certainly, Kevin. So faculty are our partners in this process of providing accommodations to our students. We determine what accommodations are reasonable, and the faculty help us to implement those accommodations. So when faculty receive an accommodations memo, that's the indication that the student has made the request to utilize their accommodations in the classroom.
So, Angie, there are several steps to this process, it sounds like. Step one is the student disclosing to your office that they require services?
Yes. So when a student comes to our office, they fill out an application, submit medical documentation, and we review the information to determine whether they're eligible for services. Almost all the time, the answer is yes, that they would qualify as long as the student has a diagnosis and or functional limitations due to a medical condition that impacts their academic learning.
Angie, how do faculty members know they have a student who's getting services in your office?
So, Student Disability Services determines what the accommodations are. The faculty member is the expert, subject matter expert, and the expert in the classroom. So the faculty can share with us what the expectations of the course are and also what the requirements are that the students need to fulfill. So those would be the essential functions of the course. And disability services, though we determine accommodations on more of a general level, we need to have conversations with the faculty and consult to determine what makes most sense in each of the courses.
Angie, under regular circumstances, what is the protocol for when a faculty member will learn that there's a student who's receiving services from your office?
So a faculty member will know that a student is registered with Student Disability Services one of two ways. Sometimes the student will approach the faculty member during office hours or by email and disclose that they are registered with Student Disability Services. And the other way would be that the faculty member would receive the accommodations memo that states what accommodations the student has been made eligible for and the student has deemed they will need in that specific course.
And the accommodations memo looks like this, correct?
Correct.
Angie, let me ask you a different question. What if a student is not registered with your office, is not receiving services, but 2/3 the way through the term then says to the faculty member, oh, by the way, I have a disability? How should a faculty member respond, and who should they contact?
So, Kevin, that can happen, and it probably does happen quite often, where a student waits to disclose to the faculty member. So our students use an online system where they go in and they say to Student Disability Services, these are the accommodations that I assume I'm going to need or know that I'm going to need in that course, and please generate the letter. So once those requests have been placed into our student accessibility management system, a letter gets generated to the faculty member. When a student decides to go through that process, then we can assume that the student needs accommodations. Because students do register throughout the semester it is not unusual for students to come to instructors to say, I have registered with Disability Services and now I would like to use the accommodations. Faculty are not obligated to meet the needs of the accommodations until they have been notified that accommodations are going to be utilized in that class.
Are there other services that your office provides that you'd like to tell the faculty members about today?
Let me give an overview of some of the services we do provide. We make students eligible for extended time, distraction-reduced space. Those are the most common accommodations for faculty.
What are those two things again?
So the two most common accommodations are going to be exam accommodations as well as note-taking assistance. So the accommodations for exams could include time and a half, double time, could include readers, distraction-reduced space. I want to say a little bit more about exam accommodations. For the faculty, you need to pay attention to what location is on the letter. So we have multiple testing locations. If you teach in the College of Law, law has its own testing arrangements for students with disabilities. If you teach on the health science campus, it will be the academic testing center that the students will be most likely utilizing to take their exams with accommodations. If you are on main campus, students will most likely be using the Memorial Fieldhouse Testing Center. We do have some students who are eligible to test within Student Disability Services, depending on whether they need an assistant or specialized technology.
Angie, thank you so very much for coming. And to the faculty, go Rockets.